a couple of thoughts about the movie. The cinematography, of course, was fantastic. They shot in natural light, and the the whites, the greens, everything looked beautiful. I know it took place somewhere in the Americas, but they filmed up in Canada and I believe in Patagonia down in Chile. And you couldn't tell which one was which. I don't know why they alternated locations like that, but the cinematography is simply beautiful. This is, of course, an art film, so the regular action that you have is not there the way it would be for like a James Bond movie or Mission Impossible. The use of the acting was very good. I don't know how authentic the Native American language and culture was to how it really was, but given how meticulous this film was, I'm sure that they did a very, very painstaking job to make sure that it was on point. Leonardo DiCaprio did a very good job. I'm sure some people have said that he's done better acting in other films, but I think he got the Oscar for this one because of the immense amount of strain that he went through, as well as the fact that it is good acting. He did speak another language. You can probably see better performances of his, though, in films such as Wolf of Wall Street, Catch Me If You Can. Though I know that's a great performance. Haven't seen the whole film, though. The Aviator, great one. He's been building his chops for a long time, and a lot of it shows in this one. There's a lot of emotional intensity in this one, more than it is words. So I say the acting is more intense on DiCaprio's part and less dynamic. There's less range. He's more like in pain and in anger the whole film, and more in wonder when he has flashbacks of seeing his wife and visions of the past and whatever all that was. So one flaw is that when you watch an action film, you're ready for unrealistic stuff to happen. In this film, which is an art film with beautiful cinematography, with real light, they had a lot of unrealistic death scenes, or non-death scenes rather. The friend that I was watching it with repeatedly said over and over, listen, he should have died there. Oh, he's injured after and has cuts in his on his skin, and he's floating through ice water. That was probably going to get infected. And looking at it from a realistic standpoint, he should have died about 5 times in that movie, but of course he didn't, until maybe the end, which we'll get to in a minute. But from a realistic standpoint, there's a spot where he's riding on a horse that gets shot with an arrow, and the horse and him fall off a cliff. The horse goes straight to the bottom. He falls into a tree, and you don't see him tumble down the tree. You just see the next shot, which is that he's on the floor, okay, like totally okay, and the horse is all dead with all broken bones and blood everywhere, and he pulls a Han Solo and cuts the horse's stomach open, takes the stomach out, and sleeps in it. And it's a Han Solo because in Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, Han Solo does the same thing for this Luke and this camel-like horse thing that dies. And Han Solo says, kid, this may smell bad, but I thought they smelled bad on the outside. So I've seen this before in The Empire Strikes Back, but of course this one took place, but I don't know. Anyway, time after time he wades through water, he evades arrow fire, going down a waterfall, going through hundreds of miles or a lot of miles of whatever, just comes out unscathed. It's not realistic, which is fine. It's a movie, but given that it's an art film, you'd want it to be more, and with such authentic cinematography, you'd want it to be more real, like true to reality. Speaking of reality, this was based on a true story, which really means that it's loosely based on the story of Hugh Glass, who got mauled by a bear, whose team fought off, killed the bear, and then he was able to go over 200 miles of terrain to get back to base camp. And that itself might be a tall tale, because when the real guy was interviewed about this in 1825, he neither confirmed nor denied the truth of that story. So the film producers took some liberties in making this a larger-than-life film. That being said, the bear scene was really good. Like with any CGI, in some years it's going to age, and it's not going to look as good as it did today. It looks pretty realistic, but you can of course tell it's CGI, but it's very well done, so no critique there, no problem. It would have been better than having a real bear on set with the stunt double. And the acting was good. Tom Hardy's character, Fitzgerald, was very good. DiCaprio and Hardy worked together in Inception, and they played totally different characters in that, and they're friends, not enemies. And Fitzgerald was really like gruff, straight to the point, manipulative, nonchalant. He manipulated Bridger, the small character. I call him Mouse because he reminds me of Mouse from The Matrix. He manipulated Mouse, being like, don't get no conscience when we get back to that city there, otherwise you and me is going to be hanging on ropes, right? And then when he was talking to the commander, he said, he very convincingly talked about how him and Bridger needed to leave Glass, which is DiCaprio, or no, he died. It was something. It was so convincing that I knew he was lying, but I believed it for a second. No, I didn't believe it. But he did a really, really good job. Just really intense acting. He's much thinner than he was in the Inception. Just good stuff on his part for sure. DiCaprio and Tom Hardy definitely have they have the most notable performances. I don't know about best as such. Now, they did a good job with. They had a lot of dream sequences in which DiCaprio would be imagining or remembering his wife, who's a Native American. That was nice, and her image gave him inspiration while he was crawling through the snow and about to die several times, and that was nice to watch. Of course, like sometimes when people go to war, they have like photos of their family at home, and that keeps them inspired to keep going, and they did that pretty well here. The plot was really good. The visuals are fantastic. I think some people thought this film was a little bit boring, maybe slow. I found it to be neither. I thought the whole thing was great. It's not a very complex plot. Pretty simple, but it could be slow. I can see that. It's definitely not at pace in terms of timing and speed as movies are today. But again, it's an art film, and I think that there's a strong place for that in the film world. And this film was rewarded with a lot of awards, including DiCaprio's Best Actor award, and just a good stuff overall. Going to the end, DiCaprio finally gets his revenge and then puts it in the hands of God and floats Tom Hardy to the Native Americans who finished the job, and then sees his wife again in his dream sequences or hallucinations or imaginations, and then takes some slower breaths. At this point, he's lost an ear, got stabbed a few times, and you don't know if he's gonna make it back to base camp, and they leave it as a ambiguous ending, kind of like Inception. So he takes a few breaths at the end. The breaths stop, but did they stop because he stopped breathing, or did they stop because he died, or did they stop because the credits are showing now? They pulled a total Inception, where at the end of Inception the top is spinning and you don't know, it tips, and then the credits cut in. So thanks Christopher Nolan for giving us this fantastic ending to The Revenant, or at least inspiring it. I give this film maybe an 8 or 9 out of 10. On the fence between either one. 9 probably because I really liked it. 8 because it might be lacking some things that a greater, like a more complex film might have. It's a pretty simple, very simple plot. I think I'd give it a 9 because all art is different, and for what they were trying to convey in this one, this great revenge story, they did a really, 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 really good job. So I loved it, and I'll be lending my Blu-ray out to one of my friends so he can watch it all. So anyway, that's my review of The Revenant. Hope you enjoyed. if you enjoyed this, check out some of my other videos. I've posted review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi with one of my friends, and I'm going to be posting other things on this channel, including movie reviews. So if you're interested, you like this stuff, definitely click like, hit a comment if you want, subscribe if you'd like, and then we'll keep in the loop with everything. All right, thank you.